Basically, I'm the marketing director for 3 franchises in the Orlando area, ServPro of Greater Orlando, ServPro of Maitland, and ServPro of East Orange County, Oviedo, which I represent out here. You might see our great little green trucks around Orlando all the time. There actually are 16 franchises in the area. So if you say to someone, call ServPro, you need to be specific which one you want to deal with, because there are many out there. What's great about ServPro is it's a great national company. You've probably seen our Stormy and Blades, our little crazy people that ride around on the commercials and fly off of buildings and stuff like that. But basically what's unique about it, there are 1,500 franchises in the United States, and every ServPro franchise can decide what they want to do. Back in our anniversary for our franchises is 29 years old on September 3rd. As most of you know, I was the original owner along with my husband at that time. I'm now working for my ex-husband. So that's a whole other story. But with that said, we started back in 1983. And back in the day, basically all we did was carpet cleaning. In fact, we did so well at the time, Sears, if you called Sears in Orlando at the time and asked to have carpets cleaned, we were the franchise. We did that for almost 9 years. Over the course of the years, we realized that there's so many more things that we could do, and as ServPro encouraged us, we literally added one thing after another. What I've done is I'm going to go over this briefly, but you can take it with you. But basically, over the course of 29 years, we've do water and fire emergency services, and also we do the restoration, or what we call the putback afterwards. So if you have someone you know that has a water damage, a lot of other companies come in and do the emergency work, and then it's bye-bye, and you deal with your insurance company, and you have to bring in all kinds of subcontractors and things and work with your insurance company. What insurance companies like about our particular franchise is that we can come back and do that. We have a building contractor on site, the owner's wife, Sarah Rayleigh. And also we work with great subcontractors that have worked with us for 18 years. So again, the clients are happy because it's such a dramatic thing that happens when you have a fire or water damage. Has anybody ever been through a water or fire damage that's caused a lot of? Okay, you can attest to that.
I'll give you a testimony.
I was going to say, there you go. It's very, and I'm one of the ones that when there's a big one that comes out, they call me and say, Gerry, can you get over there, because basically it's such a traumatic experience. So our staff is very good at what they do. We do both commercial and residential. We also are great at contents claim inventory service. We're packing out a house over in Napier over in South Orlando. The whole roof collapsed in this house. The whole roof collapsed in the house. So we went in, did the removed the roof situation, packed out the whole house, and the woman's very happy. We also do the drying out services, mold mitigation and remediation, air duct and HVAC cleaning, which I'm going to talk about. We identify odors in homes and air quality testing. We're very big into the quality of air in homes. So I'm actually dealing with someone here today, which I'll tell you about. We also do upholstery and drapes, wet and dry cleaning, vandalism cleanup, and all that. Basically, we're a one-stop shop. What's interesting about us also is that we are known around the country. Our staff has traveled around the country over the years. Sarah, the owner, is part of a team that when the floods in Nashville took place a couple years ago, that company called her. We took 5 of our staff up to Nashville, and we dried out the Grand Ole Opry, and we drank, there's a hotel that's right there, I can't think of the name right now. And it was an amazing experience for our staff because some of the great artists in the Country Music Awards had a lot of stuff in the downstairs area of the Grand Ole Opry, and they got to help them get their stuff out and help them and stuff like that. So we also travel all over, and she's been overseas, she's been everywhere, but our staff gets that great experience. We also, one of our biggest clients is the United Space Alliance, which however that's kind of gone downhill at the time, but those buildings, we do any work over there when they have any kind of problem. So we not only do just large jobs, we can also do the residential. And our focus really here in Orlando is being involved with the residential people. So we work with a lot of insurance companies. Real quickly on the next page, the pictures on the bottom here are actual pictures that we did. If you can see, the whole object of your air conditioning filter system in your home is to have a big hole that doesn't have a lot of dirt in it, so when your air goes through, it's clean air. If you can imagine, this was a building actually. If you see how little that hole was and all that stuff, the guys actually called me from the job and sent me pictures and said, Gerry, this is what we're dealing with today. The biggest thing that I can tell you about your duct cleaning, if you're in a home that's more than 5 years old, and if you've been the only owner and you know your situation, that's fine. But if you move into a home and you've been in your home it's more than 5 years old, and you start experiencing some things, you're coughing or some different aspects about your health, there could be a good chance that your ducts might need cleaning. And our techs are very well known for going out if the ducts don't need cleaning. They will tell you that. But check on that. The biggest thing that could happen, and I'm part of this, is the pets. If you have a yellow lab, trust me, yellow labs, there's stuff up in your air conditioner. Cigar smoke, cigarette smoke, a home renovation and remodeling project. You might have moved into a house and did a lot of remodeling. If when they were done with the remodeling, you didn't check your air duct system, you could be breathing that air that's, it all went up in the system. So again, if you have any situation like that or know someone, we come out and check it out for you and make sure you're okay. It kind of talks about the cleaning process. The biggest thing about what our guys do when they're in a home, in the very last page, when they're in a home, 2 of our guys that do cleaning on say a 2,000 square foot home, they are in that home for approximately 4 to 5 hours. They don't go in and just throw little balls through the air conditioning system. There's all kinds of ways to do it. They actually go in, and the biggest thing that they do is they seal your house shut, so that after their cleaning process, all of that stuff is sucked out through our equipment and taken right outside. So then you've got this great clean atmosphere to live in. And one of our previous members, I'll never forget the story, he had 2 young children. He heard me talk all the time. He finally had me come out. His duct system was very dirty. The night that we cleaned it, his children came in and said, we are so cold in this house. But what had happened was, when we cleaned out all the debris, he had dogs and some other things, when we cleaned out all the debris, the air temperature in the house was so much better because it was going through and flowing at a nice pace. So, he also said that he did not have to take his children anymore to a specialist for their asthma and stuff. So again, I'm not going to go over all of this, but you can read it later. The other part is on this back page on mold. Same thing with mold. We're working on some things today with Tony, but basically he has a little situation in his garage. But these are all of our certifications. See, these certifications are the top of the group on anything that you can have. If you have someone come in your home and they're not certified to do, they can't show you certifications like this, you need to be careful, because there's so much that people have to be certified. A mold issue, if it's say in a part of your home that's not near the air conditioning system and doesn't go in, it can grow to other places. If you don't have someone that's a mold remediation specialist, knows the right way to clean it, that's a big deal. Also, if you have any kind of water damage, because I get calls sometimes, and you've gotten it up yourself, you need to be very careful. Just because you've gotten up the water that you see, it's still underneath the carpet, still underneath the pad, it could be in your walls, and this is where within 3 days mold could start forming. So be very careful if you ever have that situation. Also, this next sheet kind of tells some of the things that you might see in the home. So if you see any of those things. And then the last page is just a little bit of a breakdown of what we actually do in the home with the systems that we use. So anyway, we're kind of a turnkey operation, so if you need us for anything, if you know any commercial people that are out there, we just finished a huge flood damage down in a big place on Lee Road. There were over, I want to say, 45 offices in it, and we had 20 people down there for 2 days, getting them ready because the guy had just bought the building and he had something happen with his roof. He had just bought the building and he was anxious. He wanted all the people that knew him and he had done all these arrangements. So we went down there and got them back up and running with just a little bit of equipment, you know, that we had to move around within 3 days. So he was very happy. Does anybody have any questions about any of these things?
Are you able to tell us what is a typical duct cleaning cost for your average size house?
Right. The typical for a 2,000 square foot home, for say 13 or 14 vents in the home, runs about $400. And a little higher. That depends on too if there's other things. But what our guys do is we go out and see. They want to go out and see what they're walking into ahead of time. So they go out and say, okay, this is. You know, the adjustment would be made there. They're very good at what they do in that.
How much would it cost just to have somebody evaluate whether or not your ducts even need cleaning?
Well, usually there is a charge of $125. However, for our group, it would be $75. And then if you would get the job, or that would happen, then it would go towards your bill.
Does that also include mold?
Yes, for mold inspection, it's $125, but we would charge $75 for the group.
I've seen little kits that are to detect if you do have mold. If you don't see it visibly, sometimes you breathe it in. Do you have any say on that?
I know that they sell some things. He asked the question. They do sell some things at Home Depot, these testing kits, but they're really about as reliable. You need some, if you really suspect that something's going wrong, you really need someone that's trained to know that. I know they're selling those a lot, but we have people complain about them also too. So.
I'm the testimonial guy today because I had a toilet leak upstairs in my house, and it had been leaking for, I didn't know how long, but a very long time. And by the time I noticed it, mold was everywhere downstairs, and they came in and did a great job and did not tear up my house as much as I thought it was going to be. So thank you very much.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on. We are a restoration company, and a lot of insurance companies or people that have big losses want us to tear down everything and do this for their business, and we don't do that. We're a restoration company. We like to keep it as clean as possible, so I thank you on that.
I have a testimonial too. We had a fire in our house, and Gerry and their team came out and did an awesome job. We were coughing, and we couldn't even go in our house. And when they got done, it was just so clean.
Bobby still asks about you, by the way.
Does ServPro do air conditioning coil cleaning?
When we look at it, if it's something that's a light job, we do. Otherwise, we have Southeast Electric here that we send them out to also assist us on that. Because sometimes it's just a very light thing, but if it looks like it's really bad, then we bring in an air conditioning contractor, Southeast. Any other questions? Thank you very much. I appreciate it.